should just start the podcast then.
They said they're gonna leave. You want to wait or just?
Yeah, I was gonna see if they might be a little bit loud, so I was just gonna wait till they left.
Oh, yeah,
if
cool.
you guys are cool with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're cool. Like, I use them just to like meditate and shit. Kind of gets you in the zone, you know.
The frequency and everything.
Mm-hmm. The frequency, and you want to mess with it.
I want to know how you did that. I never
Just
did
start. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Just kind of keep it at. You see like the little lines at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of rub it around the lines, and then yeah, more like flat on it like that. Yeah. And it might take you a second, but just keep a even pace and don't press too hard, and it'll start going. It'll start going. Yeah.
and also the breathe. So, and also.
Yeah, forget it is a little more intricate than it seems. But
Yeah, like that's why
Get
I
the flow of the energy.
Let me get that first.
yeah, it usually helps.
See,
Do you feel the vibrate? Any?
nothing.
No.
when I do this, I feel that.
Yeah.
But I want to know when you're doing the little part there, like
Yeah.
you make it sing, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do that because I've gone to like gym shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
No, dude. I'm just like, I'm not used to being around people.
she'll make sounds. Oh my
Apparently she
god!
wants to touch me.
Oh my god!
I've never had a cat, but we just got her like a week ago, and
We have guests.
it's been interesting.
That's how I know it was a female because it's.
Yeah.
They just want attention.
They just want me to touch them and they want to touch me. Oh, she's really playful. She's young too. Huh?
Yeah, she was born in like March, I think.
Oh damn, she's great. Yeah, I do. I meditate too. I like to meditate too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put like audios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you do it, bro, it's all sad. Like,
I got a book for them and stuff just to kind of learn how they use them and everything because they do it like, yeah, it's like the frequency and people use it to heal. Like I don't know how they do it, but I've just kind of used it as like a.
I see people put like a big old like imagine bells, and they put it over people's head, like kind of like a helmet.
Yeah.
You can put it in there, and then they'll hit it because they say like our body, you know, they say electromagnetic.
Right.
Well, they say it runs off of like vibration, but it turns out we run off of frequency, and when we hitting this your frequency.
Yeah.
Some people who like do, there's plenty of studies of people who've done like frequency blasting on cancer, for example, and it'll
Yes.
break it down.
Yeah.
Smell me. Hi, how you doing? Good morning.
It's hard to do, huh?
Yeah, things you need to take practice to do. Get the rotation right and
I
everything.
think
You gonna flex on us?
just go like if you go a little bit faster, I think, and then it just.
Oh, it's
starts
the frequency. It's the friction.
Yeah, because like it's kind of like how hard you're pushing up against it, and then just like how fast you're doing it. Sometimes it takes it longer. See, now it's like. but
It's crazy, kind of like when they ask a pro like, how do you make all kinds of shots in basketball, for example, and then he has to break it down like mentally, step by step. It's
Yeah.
harder for him to do it after that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to do it now, but it's, when you get to a point where like you just do it naturally, you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're little cool. I kind of want to get those big ass ones. I don't know if they almost look like ivory or something like that. They're huge, but they're pretty dope.
Welcome back to Talk to Me or whatever. You know, you got Shamwow, aka Mr. Perfect. Now, and then you got Recognize, aka Young Y, aka Mr. Big Dick. Now, and then today with the guest, we got Tony, aka The Man.
What up, what up?
Yeah, man. So it's been a minute since I talked to you, Tony. Been
Yeah,
a
what's
while.
up, man?
A lot of stuff's been happening. We've been talking already. That's crazy. Last time I thought you were a counselor, you were helping the youth. And now you're telling me you're helping grow lion's mane and oyster mushrooms and all that stuff
Yes,
like
sir.
that.
Yeah.
So how's that been going, man?
It's good, man. It's like it feels like a real manifestation. Like I've been trying to get into growing mushrooms for like a farm, and you know, it's now that I'm working there, it's everything. They have everything that I've kind of dreamed of over the past like 4 or 5 years since I started growing mushrooms. Like when I first started, I was like, I want to get like a shipping container, you know what I'm saying, and build it out with ACs and put a lab inside there and a flow hood, all these tools that we use in mycology. And it's just weird now that I've built up these skills over the last 4 years, and then I find this opportunity to grow mushrooms, and they literally just have it all built up already. You know what I'm saying? Like I have every tool at my disposal. It's a giant grow, and it's like like it's it's kind of weird sometimes when things that you think about like just happen in reality.
You
like,
manifested it.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It really does feel like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it, man. I'm like growing 80 pounds of blue oyster mushrooms and 80 pounds of lion's mane like every week, and we're shipping to restaurants in Phoenix and Tucson and stuff like that. So it's pretty dope, man. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's like kind of a dream job. I'm very like secluded, isolated. I work by myself. Like the overhead doesn't really breathe down my neck. As long as I'm doing what I supposed to get done, and it's kind of just free reign for me. So it's pretty dope.
That's great. Yeah, we were talking about the benefits of lion's mane. You were telling me like about the psychedelic part of it, not the psychedelic, the mental part of it, and I told you about the physical part of it.
Right.
And I thought that was funny because I was like, do you grow lion's mane? You should know all the benefits. But I was like, man, dude. But I mean, I remember you guys talking about doing your company. Now you're growing it, and now you have a wide aspect of it.
Yeah.
I guess my question would be. So do you eat it yourself, and if you do, how do you cook it? How do you make it?
Yeah. So, just to kind of touch on the knowing about it too, it's like I guess I've always really focused on like the neurogenesis properties of lion's mane because that was always what I was interested in, But I've heard that different mushrooms and they help regulate blood sugars and things like that. Even my wife's taken stuff like that, so it's good to hear that from you because and with mushrooms you're kind of always learning something new about them. But as far as like cooking them and eating them, I have some powder in the kitchen there. I usually throw it in some like smoothies. I used to like microdosing with it, because there's a certain stack that you use for like the brain properties and stuff. With niacin, psilocybin, and lion's mane, you kind of put them all together for this like microdose punch, I guess, and then with as far as cooking them goes, the lion's mane are great because they're like a meat substitute almost. Like you can get them to almost like a texture of a meat, and I'll basically just throw a stick of butter in a pan. Maybe a little bit of olive oil, and then simmer them in those, and then just put some basic seasonings on them: salt, pepper, and maybe a little bit of garlic. And after they start to fry up, they get a little crispy on the edges, and they're kind of tender on the inside. And it's like the texture's a little bit off from meat, and the flavor's a little bit different. But like I made some enchiladas the other day, and they were amazing. Like they were good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you couldn't tell the difference. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, if you know, Tucson, Arizona, it's called the Bachelor Bandit. It was a bar, now it's a
yeah, it's a barbecue place.
So they have actually a jackfruit substitute.
Oh yeah, jackfruit. I actually like jackfruit.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, man, but the other day you were talking. I was having a mushroom burger, and it was the huge mushroom. I forget what it's called. But the meat was just the mushroom.
Right.
And I ate it. Yeah, it was a portobello.
Portobello.
And then I was eating. I was like, this is just really seasoned very well. That's what most food is. It's just a seasoning.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is actually pretty good. And I was actually excited because I kind of got it like it had what was the bread? It was a plant-based bread, but it was also delicious. And I was like, man, dude, And then even talking to my brother, like he said, man, he's been getting me into like the whole food. So I've been doing watermelon, mango, pineapple, blueberry, raspberries, strawberries, kiwi, and I've been feeling really high energy, and metabolism speeding up, and I'm always hydrated.
Right.
That's crazy, but
we live in the desert, so you want that.
Yeah, so
that's hot.
Then that's why I've been looking really into lion's mane, and I've never had a blue oyster mushroom.
Yeah, those are really good too.
Yeah, I've never had those. I know there's different ones that there's all kinds of mushrooms you could use. There's the one that they call the chicken of the forest or whatever.
Yeah. What is that? I forget what that was called.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I just know about chicken of the forest. Yeah. I know it's like a really complex name. That's why I don't remember it.
Kentucky?
No, it's I know what you're saying. It's like
it grows in the wild and it grows like massively, and it has a texture of meat as well. But they use it a lot, and it's called chicken of the forest.
Have you guys ever had Tumerico?
No,
dude. If Tumerico is like straight vegan, but it's like vegan Mexican food, but it's amazing. Like I I'm not even vegan, and I would go eat there like every week. You know what I'm saying? Like when I used to work at the dispensary, I used to eat there like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like this.
I didn't. Loving Spoonfuls.
Loving Spoonfuls, yeah.
One of my top vegan restaurants to go to.
Yeah.
If I had a vegan date, I'd probably take her there.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
for sure, dude.
But I mean, really discovering vegan food was actually through, Tristan. He
Yeah,
showed
yeah.
me, oh, do tofu this, and I'm like, dude, I never even knew that was possible. The last time I had vegan food was mango curry with tofu.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know that even existed, but I was like, a mango curry doesn't really sound interesting. Because, to me, curry's spicy.
Yeah.
It's either green or red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this one was like it was kind of like a grayish color, but it had mango flavor in it.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is bomb, but I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah, that's good, man. Getting on the healthy tip.
Well, yeah, like I
I
told
want to go
you.
kick my dog right now. He's crazy.
Oh, is that what that is? I didn't know what that was. I thought it was maybe like an air vent or something. Yeah, so you grow lion's mane. I mean, what else have you been up to, man?
What I wanted to get to is what I understand about mushrooms is like, so in the forest, right? What their purpose is they usually kind of like a pimple, like a pimple extracts all of the bad stuff that's in the area, and that's what when you cut it open, like you see like the blood and you see the pus and like mucus and stuff like that. What I understand is the mushrooms are doing the exact same things for the ecosystem of the area. So it pulls out like stuff that are not alkaline, stuff that are not what the plants can use.
Yeah.
That's why when you eat some mushrooms, like you'll instantly die because it's just all toxic.
Right.
But some of them we can use that are edible, that you could eat, like where the portobellos and everything we were saying before. But my curiosity goes to you said what got you fascinated is the idea of the
neurogenesis. Yeah.
What even is that? Can you break that down?
Yeah. So.
And why did you get interested in that?
Yeah. So lion's mane is, from as far as I know, lion's mane is the only mushroom that has neurogenic properties to it, which basically means that it grows new neurons in your brain. So that's why, like you were saying earlier, it kind of prevents and slows down Alzheimer's, and it's because as we get older, we start, our brain, the neurons start slowing down in our brain. So it's like, if you can keep that growing, that means you can keep like learning. You can, create new pathways in your brain. Start to help people out. I think people with traumatic brain injuries take it a lot, so that they help them recover. So that's why I've always been super interested in it. But mainly, like I was saying too earlier, is there's a stack called the Stamets stack, and Paul Stamets is like a really world-renowned mycologist. He talks a lot about mushrooms, and he's just a really brilliant guy. But he has a stack with lion's mane, psilocybin mushrooms, a very small dose, and niacin. And niacin is like, I don't know if you ever taken niacin. Like they used to say to take it so you could pass drug tests and shit. But it makes you pee a lot. But really what it does is, if you've ever taken it, it makes you flush. Like you get really flushed and you get really red and your skin itches really bad. And it's kind of just flushing all this stuff to your nerve endings. And so he recommends taking, the lion's mane with the psilocybin, and the niacin pushes it to all the nerve endings in your brain so that you really get the full effect of it. And that's kind of what started me with lion's mane, because I actually was in a real bad depression that I couldn't get out of, and I was in this super funk where I was just it was bad, but I resorted to doing microdosing, and that's when I started working with my lion's mane, and it basically brought me out of that over a 2 or 3 month period. And so the lion's mane, and I could tell even when I take lion's mane supplements just on their own, I feel it in my head. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel it in your head? I feel this weird little sensation in my head, and I get this. I describe it all the time as cold, but I don't think it's actually cold. But it feels like my brain's cold, and I'm more awake and more alert.
I would say the example I gave him is firing at all pistons.
Yeah.
You're firing at all pistons.
Exactly.
And I told him I have to realize that I have to slow my conversation down because I'm speeding everything up because thinking faster.
Yes.
And my mouth can't keep up. So people are like, dude, you're speed talking right now. And I'm like, oh, I don't notice it, but that's just how fast I am. Like right now, he gave me a tip to do like 20% on my feet to ground myself.
Yeah.
That's why I'm talking slow right now.
Yeah.
But
it made a huge difference, and just that one little exercise, just
well,
like
the
what
thing
changed
is,
everything.
so like recovering alcoholic, recovering drug addict, right?
Mm-hmm.
Years of abuse to my brain. You basically smooth out your brain and body as well. Borderline kidney failure, liver failure, all that stuff that I'm doing, type 2 diabetic, all that stuff. Being able to function at a higher degree and being able to articulate my stuff the way I see it in my head is way better now. But I've seen that the Lion's Mane has progressed a lot faster.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's insane because alcohol damages or smoking weed or doing cocaine, whatever, years of that stuff.
Yeah.
It smooths out your brain and it creates holes in your brain. But being able to I don't want to say patch it up, but that's what comes to mind. Like basically, I'm patching everything up again.
Yeah, you're healing it.
Yeah, and I'm like, like I told him, growing up in the hood, it wasn't cool to be smart. And I'm realizing, like, damn, I'm smart. Like, oh shit! Like, I was like, what if I would have kept this genius and I'd probably be somewhere different. But whatever, you can't live in the past.
Yeah, it all happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, so like I told him, change is something you can't stop. I can't say the word, dude.
Inevitable.
Dude,
Inevitable, yeah.
I had so much trouble about edible. He's like, are you hungry? I'm like, no.
It's edible. And I was like, you probably shouldn't eat that.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
it's
that
crazy
fulfilling.
because you're right. Like, I do feel like it's not like your brain's cold, but it's like it's not overheating. It's cool and it's collective, and you're focusing and you're able to produce more stuff out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're active.
Yeah. And also to touch on what you're saying about like mushrooms in the forest too, it's like typically mushrooms are what you see when you see decay. So mushrooms are like when there's a dead dying tree, like mushrooms are popping out of it, like they're essentially helping break the tree down. And that's why we have soil. Pretty much like the mushroom breaks down the dead leaves and the trees, and it breaks it down into mulch, and that's why they get all fine, and then that's why we have like nutrient dense soils, is because the mushrooms are basically like facilitating that whole process.
So like I said, like a pit bull or like a filter.
Yeah, and that's true. Like it's cool because there's certain mushrooms that you can grow like on plastic, and they consume plastic. They're finding these mushrooms now. But you can actually eat them because the mushroom itself processes all like the toxicity in the plastic. It like, I don't know what it does to it exactly, but it turns it into something that you can eat and you're safe too. So it does both things, you know what I'm saying? Wow. So it's like yeah, it's kind of they're very dynamic. They're the craziest like plant thing I've ever heard of.
Well, what I understand, I'll continue to say was another thing I was going to say was it's part of the marsupial system or kingdom. So like it's like the nervous system of the forest. You know, like we send a signal to our toe and the toe kind of moves. Well, through the system of the fungus, the marsupials, they send signal that way to like break down a tree.
Exactly.
To like turn it into like fermented and like fertilizer.
Well, it's crazy because
that's so crazy. Yeah,
they do consider it like it's a fungus. It is a fungus, but it's a living organism as well because then it also does. It can grow in the most strangest of places, and then it can construct itself to form even more and progress in the environment it's in. And I'm like, dude, that is insane.
Yes. Have you ever seen like the picture of the evolutionary tree, like how it says we're all connected with animals and stuff like that? Like it has like monkeys and whales and shit, and it's like they found out that on the evolutionary like tree or the scale, like humans actually have more in common with mushrooms than we do with plants.
I was actually going to just say that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I don't know what documentary I was watching that, but they were saying that that our closest relative is not just the primary apes, but also mushrooms. And then I was like, well, who discovered what was it saying? This was the primates ate the mushrooms, and that's when the evolutionary curve kind of changed because it was like, oh
yeah,
and then I was like,
Stone Date Theory.
Yeah, I was like, and then they go. So it's a form of cannibalism, and I started laughing because I was like, well, it kind of is because if we're similar to mushrooms, I was like that would make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, they say pig's skin is like the most closest thing to human skin, so maybe that's even a little bit of cannibalism.
Yeah.
I love bacon. I don't know why.
I don't know why. It's so raw, but it's so delicious. No, I was actually, I don't know, I was probably to that, but I was watching TikTok and the guy was making a honey bun with fat bacon,
Mm-hmm.
but he was steaming. He was not steaming. Yeah, he was steaming the bacon.
Mm-hmm.
That's smoking. Sorry,
Smoking.
smoking the bacon with the honey bun, and then
Yeah.
the sugar of the honey bun caramelized and the bacon. And he was eating. I was like, I want to try that.
That sounds amazing.
I was like, that's probably like 3,000 calories alone by itself.
Yeah.
That would be delicious just to try.
Oh
that.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, but yeah. So the evolution of mushrooms, man. Like I've been looking into it a lot because mentally I've been thinking like, okay, I have to physically physical my body, and like I said, lion's mane helps regenerate kidneys and liver failure and all that, so it helps regenerate it all to bring it back to full focus. My metabolism has boosted, my energy has boosted, my sugars have been low, my blood pressure's been low. So I've seen a lot of benefits physically from the lion's mane, and that's because I'm more of a physical guy. Like I told you, I started doing the Mike Mesner workouts. I only work out 2 times a week and then rest the rest of the time, which is like insane because I looking into that. Ripping the muscle and then letting it recover is when you actually see the most progress.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you mind if I put my dog?
Yeah, let me pause real quick.
He's like freaking driving me insane right